Hello, I'm Joachim Duplessis. Welcome to the HTS Epoll. It's your opportunity to weigh in on the most pressing issues of the day. St. Lucia's public transportation system, predominantly reliant on private minibuses, currently faces challenges in providing sufficient service for essential workers and residents in underserved communities after dusk. The absence of a scheduled full-time nocturnal service raises concerns regarding commuter safety, often exposing late shift employees to elevated risks including physical crime. Implementing reliable night bus operations could offer significant improvements in social equity and mobility, particularly if complemented by modern cashless payment solutions to mitigate the vulnerability to robbery. Fundamentally, the initiative's success hinges on overcoming significant economic hurdles as achieving profitability may be difficult given potentially low nighttime ridership. Therefore, the long term sustainability of the socially vital service necessitates careful evaluation of public sector investments and resource commitment. So we asked, do you believe a full time nocturnal bus service is viable in St. Lucia? We took to the streets to get your opinion, and here's what you had to say.
It will be very useful because some people work at the hotels and there's no transportation at night to take them home. Some at hospital, when you come from hospital, some on the airport. So that service will be welcome. The economy will be circulating, so everybody will benefit. And we need security too for that night bus.
Yeah, that is a good investment for night time because sometimes you come from at work from the hotel, they drop you a certain place. To get home is a struggle. You have to be flagging your hands for a ride. Sometimes you go in the hospital, you have a daughter, you have to get back home. Sometimes you stay there for 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Then when you reach home, you have to go and sleep. It's appalling for you to sleep. So I think that is one of the good things government bring in, and I think that's a good thing for the country and the good thing for the people in the country also. So I agree with that 100%.
I do not think it is a bad idea at all because most places in St. Lucia, like bus drivers running up to a certain time, and there are most times persons are being stranded. So once proper mechanism is being put in place by whoever who's in charge transport board or whoever or minibus association, I think it can work out.
Well, it's a good investment for the people, but there is a certain time in a day. There is a certain day you're not getting passengers and you get in. But it's at times it's a risk you're taking for yourself too. You understand? But it's a good idea.
Well, I believe it's a good thing, providing that the bus drivers have at least a firearm license. You understand? Knowing in the time we live in, But I believe it's a good thing. It would be a good thing, like workers work late at night and they cannot get bus to reach home. Especially those who don't have the private vehicle. I believe it will be a good thing.
Alors, c'est le premier investissement que je mène, c'est ça qui était pour te caler. So, si ça a fait, so, moi, après, c'est ça. Sans chaque monde, quand je peux que plus bonheur, quand ça reste fait travail, so, ça a plus pour yo, yo pas une vieille idée, à botant rien qu'à ouvrir, parce que y a une chose pour aller là, qu'à y ouvrir. Le monde pas la peine embrasser chimère. So, moi, ça s'en chaille, bon, bail, au Colombien, ou le travail, tout bail, qu'à les primaires. Le monde pas quoi pour travailler là, so, yo, ça fait primaire. So, ça a un bon bail.
It is long overdue. Because I'm saying in Barbados, since in the 70s, you pay $1.50 for a bus, And St. Lucia is too backward. It's time that we do something about the bus business. But the people who go to work with the hotels, they should have a company. They should have a company to work with them, to drop them at their home, and charge and take the money from them from their work. All those things are long overdue, man.
I think it will be a good resource for St. Lucia, but by doing that, they need to change the bus system. Instead of using cash, they should be using cards or pre-tickets where you could purchase it and then use it as your bus fare. That's the only way they could eliminate the bus robbery and what's going on in St. Lucia, because right now they got other countries doing that, and we're in the 21st century and we're still going back and live like we're in the 19th. We need to change that, and this is the only way things will process in St. Lucia and proceed by doing that. Because especially they got the hotel staff, live and work, drop them at a certain area, then they got to find their way to wherever they are living, which is wrong. With a bus system well organized, all this crime and rubbish will be eliminated.
Bus service li oswe, sa ka yon bon investment by set lisyen because lani moun gada vay oswe, night shift oswe lan mi dek dele pa ka jwen machine. Ek difon kote yon komen minibus kaskes pour traverser moun. Mwen fil sa ka yon bon bagay. Pour yo, mais tout ba yon place pour ça on ça pour mes bus service oswe. C'est un bagay tout qui cause l'argent, spin. Mais nous need to make sure the bus driver are safe. Et qui c'est cahier de l'économie en tout.
Now to our new discussion. Prime Minister Philip J.P. has announced the snap general elections for December 1st, 2025, late Sunday, well ahead of the scheduled November 2026 deadline. The governing St. Lucia Labour Party, SLP, aims to maximize its current political standing and leverage recent positive economic data. By calling a poll now, pundits point out that the SLP avoids potential market downturns and capitalizes on momentum from government initiatives. The swiftness of the declaration also immediately shrinks the timeline for the opposition United Workers' Party. This forces the UWP to scramble its organization and expedite its policy presentation to the public. However, the timing risks political criticisms for perceived opportunism, especially from the opposition, which ironically demanded an early poll. The UWP has already reacted sharply, challenging the government's competence and integrity. The early declaration formally initiates what is anticipated to be a fiercely contested campaign. So we ask, does the Prime Minister's decision to call the poll for December 1st, 2025 surprise you? Remember, our Epoll team is always on the go to get your responses as well. Watch the HTS News Force from 7 p.m. for the results and a new discussion.